What's up, Reactorites? John here, and yes, let's talk about Robert the Bruce. This is the sequel to Mel Gibson's Braveheart. Before we get to the review of Robert the Bruce, you can follow me on Twitch. I have a Twitch channel at Nerd Reactor, so check me out on there. And also, we have a Discord channel server, Nerd Reactor. Link is in the description. And so yeah, let's get on with the review.
Nerd Reactor, roll out.
Braveheart was a historical film, follows William Wallace's journey from a Scottish commoner to a leader fighting for his country's freedom. And Robert the Bruce was featured in that film, and in history he would become the King of Scotland, and he would help liberate his country from England's rule. And 25 years after the release of Braveheart, we finally get a sequel with Angus reprising his role as Robert the Bruce, and it's now available on digital and VOD. And so yeah, there are many tales to be told for Robert the Bruce. Filmmakers could focus on the victory, his victory against the English army at Loudon Hill, or any of his other victories against Edward II of England. However, the filmmakers wanted to do something smaller, like a smaller scale, where Robert the Bruce, he is spending a large amount of time with a family that saves his life. And so what we have is a film that should have been called, Robert the Defeated, Saved by the Family. There aren't any huge epic battles and no epic fights featuring Robert the Bruce. And overall, the storytelling, there's a lack of focus, and we'll jump into that later. So yeah, the movie's set in 1306, and this is maybe a couple months or a year after the events of Braveheart. And Robert the Bruce, he's been losing battle after battle from the might of England. And a bounty has been set for Robert the Bruce, and soldiers that have fought alongside him, they're now hunting him. And he gets in a fight, he gets injured, he gets wounded, and a family discovers his body, and they take him in, and they help motivate the king to live and fight another day. So yeah, the majority of the story is about how Robert the Bruce, he is saved by this mother, along with the son, her orphan nephew and niece. And the niece, pretty gifted archer, kind of reminds me of Merida from Brave. And yeah, in the final act, I started get some flashbacks from Star Wars, Return of the Jedi, especially with the stormtroopers fighting the Ewoks. So when you watch it, you'll kind of see where I'm getting at, where it starts to feel more like fiction and less like a historical piece. But the whole story is very, it looks like they've taken a lot of liberties with this story, because I want to see these epic battles and war of Robert the Bruce, seeing how great he is as a king, but we don't get to see that in this movie. There was a part near the beginning where he does have a victory or a clash with his rival, but other than that, he's being hunted, there's a bounty on him, and he does show some cool moments where he's able to take on some guys, but in the end he gets defeated, he's on the run, he's injured, this family saves him. And later on, it's this whole, the final act of just the family doing their job to help out Robert the Bruce. But yeah, this is a sequel to Braveheart. And, as a sequel to Braveheart, and with Robert the Bruce as the main character, he's done a lot of good for Scotland, winning battles and in history, getting Scotland to become a free country. And I wanted to see that with these battles and, these victories, but we don't get to see that because we don't even get to see any of the battles. I'm pretty sure the production budget for this is really low, so they have to try to figure out how to do a smaller scale movie. But it's why even do it at all? Don't even do it. And if you want to do it, tell a more interesting story and at least show Robert the Bruce being Robert the Bruce, like at least show me him being a badass, leading his armies and having victories. There's a way to do it without showing it, but like just show the intrigue of him planning, setting things up, and where it goes. But yeah, in the end, Robert the Bruce, he's mostly taken a backseat and he's incapacitated. And I'm like, no, this is not the reason why I'm watching this movie called Robert the Bruce. And also, the film lacks a focus. It's jumping from one group to another group. You're thinking this group, okay, this is going to focus more on this. But nope, psych, it's following another group. And just when you're thinking this other group's going to be like part of the main focus, nope, that's not the group either. Now it follows another group. So it just keeps jumping and to the point where you don't even care about the characters anymore. And then, so you start realizing, how come these previous group of characters, how come they have like so much screen time? Because I feel like it's pretty pointless if your real focus is on the family that saves Robert the Bruce. It should have been called The Family. But yeah, even though I have a lot of gripes with this movie, I do appreciate that Angus McFadden, he is reprising his role as Robert the Bruce. I just wish there was more of it, more of him just being this king that will lead. And we don't really get to see that. We get to see like the turmoil and him hesitating, like, oh, do I want to help out my country? And it's him realizing, with his family, he's got to do what he's got to do. And the performances with what they're given, with the story, it's still pretty solid. So I can't really knock them for that. And the characters, like if they fleshed them out more or had a better focus, I would have been rooting for some of the characters. But clearly, since it likes to jump around, that's not the case. Have your expectations set low, since Robert the Bruce is an entirely different film compared to Braveheart. The film lacks focus as it jumps from one group to another, and there are no epic battles and no heroics from Robert the Bruce, because the heroics is the focus on the family and what they do. And we're left with a movie that's really, it's not suited as a film that's called Robert the Bruce. It should have been called something else. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Robert the Bruce. And, we have our Discord server. You can check it out. Link is in the description. Talk about movies, talk about games, anything that's on your mind. And we also have the Twitch channel. Check that out. So yeah, we can just come on, join, talk about entertainment, talk about streaming, and all that jazz. So with that, I'll see you guys next time.